I'll verbally walk through it and tell you what I'm actually doing. The initial bow is taken from some of the Filipino arts. Okay. The right foot back. I have my left hand on my heart. The space when the stick is done across the forehead. I'm looking at my partner, and with this basic saying, from the heart, from my heart, as a warrior, I salute you. Okay? It's just a real simple move here. And from right here, what I do is I bring my hand across. This symbolizes lack of aggression. I cover the weapon, and I bring it up to my third eye. From the third eye from the heavens, I acknowledge you, and from here I point at whoever I'm saluting, and I encompass the whole person and the salute. As simple as that. And nothing complicated. The first level is called Sol, Sol, which means sun. Just symbolizes the new beginning, the new day, the new dawn. Okay. First thing that's covered is the basic guard stances, tri stance, male and female, and movement within those stances. So, say camera, the basic guard basically is one taken from European sword fight. If you think in terms of your feet parallel, here, this way, kind of like an L shape here, and then bring out your foot comfortably, your leg comfortably, your left foot comfortably, about shoulder width, a little bit over shoulder width. From right here, in this position here, whether on the left lead forward, okay, or right lead forward, okay. I sit very comfortably here. This basic guard position allows me to, in a linear fashion, watch my opponent with either my sword or my stick or my machete or bow or barong, whatever I have in my hand. Okay? It allows me to just, from here, step forward with my lead foot and follow it up with the third foot here. When I go backward, the same motion movement here. Okay? I can also cross back here. Cross back this way. Or you cross forward. Okay? That's just the basic guard. Feet are parallel, at right angles, heels aligned here. The interesting thing is when we transition to the tri stance from here, it's the same position. All I do with my back foot is turn my foot here, raise my back heel, and I'm in a tri stance. Now the tri stance, the reason why it's called tri stance, is triangular in nature. This represents, the point this way represents the male, this way represents the female. Okay? With the male tri, all you're doing is your lead foot forward is on the apex, or the point of the triangle. The rear foot, let's say the left foot is on the left base. From right here, when I switch, I bring the rear foot up first, then the forward foot back. Now the right foot is on the right base. Simple as that. I switch. Back foot comes up, forward foot goes back. That's the male tri. When I go to the inverted triangle, or the female, the opposite happens. The rear foot is on the apex, and the lead foot is on the top base. In this case, the right foot is the top right base. When I switch, opposite happens. The rear foot now goes back first, and then the rear foot, the forward foot goes back, and then the back foot goes to the upper base. This foot moves first, and comes out. And this basic motion is used for evasion. You'll see that when we work on our inside moves, outside moves, the old standard moves like inside move one, outside move one, we're using male and female tri. But the thing what happens is as you develop and as you go up in the complication of the technique, actually simplification, you find you might be using the basic guard stance, you might be using a combination of stances. Okay, striking with the stick. Okay. When we teach strike with the stick, we're thinking in terms of a new student. Okay. So when we talk about strikes with sticks, we go through technical terms, Tagalog actually, and Spanish, and English. Wutik. Wutik has been described various ways. A wutik is basically hitting and rebounding. Wutik, I was told, is just basically a flick. Okay, flick. So hitting and coming back Hitting, rebounding, hitting, retracting, hitting, or flicking. All those terms are a hook kick. It might be here, 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 almost like an abanico, but not quite. Just one hit and back. Abanico means fan. Now the way I teach fan for new students is I have them hold the stick in the middle of the stick, the hand in the middle of the stick, and just turn the weapon here. Turn it along right side, left side. Go up high, low, right in front of you, go up here. And then they look at that motion and movement, then this is your fan motion. Right now I hold the weapon with a little bit of puño. And if I do the same thing, I'm doing the fan motion. Here I'm doing the fan. Here I'm doing the fan. Here I'm doing the fan. And here I'm doing the fan. A real simple way to teach the fan motion. Okay? So you have your whoop kick. Now your lob kick, which really means just hitting once and going and following through. Hitting and following through. Hitting and following through. That's all it means. Okay? So a real simple concept. You can teach that in many different ways to new students. Okay? You can think of your own methods of teaching that. Give combinations or have them do one thing in one place. And when you teach the puño, real simple. The puño is just basically the whole idea behind the puño is the old thing when we used to, the farmers when they used to grab like the head of a carrot, grab the carrot, the part that would be hanging out, the leaf, something that would be the puño. Grab somebody's hair, ponytail, get the puño. But all it is just basically the butt of the stick, or the hilt, the pommel of the sword. That's all it is. Used various different ways. Figure eight. Again, figure eight, we've gone through it before. Describe just almost a horizontal 8 in front of you. 8, and right here. So figure eight, you can go overhand or underhand, figure 8. Same thing, figure 8. But then practice closing the circle of the 8, make it tighter. Okay. Real simple motion of movement. Rompida. Rompida means ripping. The connotation is tearing. Straight down somebody's center. As if you had a sharp, maybe machete or bubble. Okay. Real simple motion of movement, straight up and down. Now this, Filipinos teach that this is incorrect. You turn your palm up this way and rip this way. The idea being you can get disarmed easily here. But I've been known to do it. You'll see what works best for you. Thrusting, of course, we have, when we go through the 12 strikes, you'll see various thrusting methods. So as we go on in the higher ranks, we'll explain how these relate to fencing, but basically this is like number 5 thrust here. And this relates to the old stoccata, of the old fencing classical motions of the Italian and Spanish school. Our number 6 was the old imbrocada. Okay? That's our number 6. And our number 7 was the old punta de vez. Okay? And the old fencing, the classical fencing that we have now, this would be the punta supramano, which you'll see in fencing today. Again, when we translate all these motion and movements to empty hand, we'll get to that in a little bit. But the strikes, 1 through 4, we're going to do the serrata strikes. And what I'm going to be doing at this junction, which I haven't done before, I want to introduce the dagger position with me right initially. 2 reasons. One, it differentiates us from people thinking we're just copycatting. And the idea isn't that we're afraid of that, or I'm afraid of that, it's because in reality what we're going to be doing later on is we're going to be so differentiated from a lot of the Filipinos because the European and some of the Spanish and actually some of the culture that there really is no reason for anyone thinking we're piggybacking off of the system. We're developing a base, and from that base we're going on to, I believe, more esoteric and deeper things. So, in this first initial level, we have 1 through 4 strike serrata. you guys want to stand up and do them with me, you can do that. But all we're doing from here, number one was taught this way. Here, twirl, bring back, step back here, and a nice positive stance, and stepping forward, and striking to your opponent's shoulder. Usually ended up here. The reason being, let me explain why, is the reason the formality of the strikes was because initially what happened was he developed into a blade art. This actually was a blade art. Spadadaga, Serrata. This is a blade art. If you try to do Serrata motion and movements with a stick mindset, it comes out looking kind of clumsy, kind of stiff. The reason being, it shouldn't be done that way. It should be done with a blade mindset all the time. If you're going to go to a stick mindset, then your movement has to be more free, more abanico, more movement, more puño, and that isn't what some of the base systems of Serrata we take. The difference that we're doing with this is when we do the number one strike, we also do the number one parry from the fencing. So when we step back, I come in with number one. Number one goes to number one, and as I step forward, I'm here in the guard position and with my parry. Okay? Again, twirl, bring back. As I step back, I'm also parrying here. One. Step forward, and parry two. I'll turn facing that way. Twirl, parry one. Step forward, strike. See how I'm striking and parry simultaneously. Number two. Done the same way from here. So I come here, like we did before. All I'm doing now is parrying the number two parry with the dagger as I strike my number two. Again. From here, twirl, step back, okay, parry, number two, step forward, strike. Or you can do it from here. Twirl, same position here, parry number two, and step forward. Okay. You have the two options. Doesn't really matter how you do it. As long as your partner sees what's coming at you. Your partner sees what's coming in. Doesn't shock. Number three. Starts off the same way. One, here. Okay. Okay. So this is one, this is two, this is the third parry. So when I come and strike, I just do number three parry. Okay? Alright, back. Let's review the parries of the dagger first. Okay? Just as with the sword, this is the number one. This is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Then with the sword, we get down to 6. This would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, so when we do number 3, it's doing the same thing. Along with it. That's it. Again. Good. Number 4. 4 from here. We can come out, as we did before, we can step out with it, then we go to the number 4 parry. Thrust. So we're going 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the number 4 parry. In other words, with number 4 we usually came out and just did a thrust and came back. This time we're going to go thrust and then parry. Okay, taking care of the secondary as we strike. This in that direction. Here. That. Parry. Okay. That's the number 4. Disarms. 1 through 4. Now remember, we're thinking in terms of new students, okay? So when we do disarm, we want to make it kind of fairly easy for them. And since we're going to translate all of our movements to empty hand, okay, we want to make it really So when we teach the basic Arnese disarm, let's see, we can go angle in here. Okay. He strikes here, I block his braid. Remember, you keep thinking of a new student. Grab the end of the weapon, turn, and disarm. Now, as you see in the rest of the curriculum, we don't get to the Senawalis and the Redondos till the next level. But what we did do was the figure 8. What we did do was rompida. What we did do was the abanicos. Okay? So we can add, and we work with our students after they get the number 1 disarm, we can go from here. Figure 8. Remember, you're thinking of a brand new student. Reverse an angle. Or from here, number 1 disarm. Rompida. Or rompida here. Okay? And right here, you got number 1. The new student, remember. Disarm. Abanico. Or any combination thereof. You see? You build it up a little like a triangle. Slowly but surely. Okay? Now, next one, number 2 disarm. Right here. As the strike comes, you block with the brace, teach them how to block with the brace. This is kind of a deflection block. Remember, we're not really taking all the force head on. We're kind of deflecting it down or deflecting it out, which we'll get into in a little bit. So from right here, the disarm is done here, palm up, 12 o'clock, right on top of this wrist. We go clockwise, around the 12, keeping close contact here with the wrist, see that? And I bring it in, I have a lock here, or I can just, if I went straight down, I have a disarm. So the option is yours to teach how you want to teach it. Teach both methods. From here, you block with the brace. Go around. If I'm teaching a brand new student, I'll tell them, well, what do you have here? Well, I have abanico. I have rompida, okay? I have a portion of the figure 8 going on, and I have a lock here. I'll give somebody say, do abanico, and then push down, and then drop with the figure 8. You see? You take them baby steps, little by little, and they learn the whole technique. Later on, when they get cocky, they do all kinds of weird stuff, okay, which is good. That's what you want. But they realize that, hey, you know what? The reason why you teach disarms is because you're teaching a principle. That's not to say that I'll be able to disarm, say, someone that is a Filipino spouse 20 years, or an exact duplicate of Pat or myself or any one of you here. But the principles are there in case I ever do. The situation does arise when I can. Okay, so that's why you teach principles. Number 3 disarm. Right here, it's right here. Actually, right here. Again, deflection block. I block with the brace here in terms of deflecting. These are my shock absorbers you tell your students. Your elbows, kind of like the shock absorbers. You're catching it here. And when you do, all I do is dive in my hand, around. Now I'm going counterclockwise. Keeping contact with this wrist. Once I'm here, see my thumb, my index finger catches the hold of him here. From right here, I push out at a 45-degree angle. Okay? Now once right here. I block here. I dive in like a snake. I go counterclockwise this time. Come up to 12 o'clock, my index finger catches them at the right moment, and I push out at 45. Now from here, what you want to teach your students is, once you're here, let go. And here, and then strike. Okay? That's one of the things about the disarm. Once the disarm is accomplished, get rid of their weapon and utilize your own weapon. Use your own. Okay, so that's the whole idea. But you'll see when you get new students, you'll take them through each step that you take it by increments. Just take it by increments. Okay? And number 4. Number 4 is done here. Same thing again. I don't get tired of repeating it because that's what you'll be telling your students. Shock absorber here. Dive in your stick. Keep in contact. So my thumb touches his thumb. See, real close. Here, I turn clockwise. There's different various ways of lifting up. You can lift up here, palm up. Okay? Or you can lift here, palm up. But that's not very efficient. From right here, I like to lift palm down at the end and then use the other hand, abani. That's the other thing too, when you work with your students, when you work with your strikes, work both hands. They're going to do it eventually with the Sinawali's. So they say, but I'm not left-handed. And before they know it, they will be. Because they'll be doing the Sinawali's, the redondas, and then what does that do? It teaches them left-handed stuff to let them use knowledge. So it's up to you guys how you ever want to teach that. If you want to get them into the left hand right away, that's fine. If not, the only reason why, when you get to number 4, you use left hand, you have another weapon. Okay. That's 1 through 4 disarm. Anybody have any questions on the disarm? Okay, if you look through the curriculum, we've gone through the stances, male, female. Oh, the stances. When you work with your disarms, try working with your male and female tribe. Because that's kind of the easiest thing to do when you're working with the disarms, you're working with new students. Okay, because the basic guard, that'll come in when we start countering and start moving. Okay, so start with the male and female strike, and okay, and when you do your disarms, like I said, just take them in increments, any way you see fit. Okay, the whole idea is to get them driving the basics. They're going to be seeing combinations and insights that you might not have seen, because you guys keep doing that to me too. I'll see insights that you guys, haven't. You have a question?
Yes. Well, when you teach them to strike, you teach it like with hands.
No, the follow.
This is the cut.
The follow through cut. Yeah. Okay. The lot there.
And on the disarm, you're not teaching the serrata strike for.
No. Well, we'll see. Clarify it. When we're working with disarm, we're thinking in terms of somebody in the street striking them. So obviously, someone in the street isn't going to be coming with you this way, okay? So no, it's a valid, good question. Glad you brought it up. They're going to be striking here, and then here, all over, crazy. Both hands, left and right hand. So that's what we're doing. We teach the disarm. The strikes are coming like to the neck, to the head, okay, to the shoulders, and then as we go on, we'll be striking lower.
Gert?
Yes.
Here also says translate to serrata movements.
Right. Translate to serrata hand motion. We haven't got to the drills yet, so what we do, you notice when you get down to the drills, then we'll have to go back up and redo that stuff. So it's like a big clock. We're working around this way, and then we have to come back up and do it all again. So now we're going to get into some of the drills, like outside number 1, sweep, block, block, 105, and then we're going to do those all empty-handed. Then we'll go back up to the disarm, and then you'll see how they can apply that with the empty hand. All right, we'll go back to the disarms, and when we do, we'll be doing an empty-handed after we get through this part. The outside number 1 drill, the sweep block, block 105, block 111, shoulder block, inside number 1, block 1 standard. We'll do all those empty-handed, and we'll go back up to the disarm to see how we can apply what we did there empty-handed. You see, there's some stuff for new students to work on for a while. Okay? All right, first of all, outside number 1. Okay? It's a good angle. Over here, probably. Switch it to what you want to do. No? There we go. Outside number 1. When you teach your students this, what you want to do is show them that. Then you show them the triceps, the female. What we're doing is stepping out of the female tri. See? Female. When I turn, I'm back in the male. Now I'm aligned. So I went out at the B, female. And when I realign, the apex or the point is pointing at my opponent. When we do our first motion of movement, we stay there. Okay, fine. We step out, catch with the dagger hand, hit with the sword. As we pivot, step again with the dagger, hit with the sword, and lock. This is called preparatory for the secondary. Again, if we were to do the entire system, all we would ever do in the entire system would be hit their weapon hand. So when the students get tired of hitting weapon hand, they're justified. That's why when we start moving on, we start adding different kinds of different hits with the freedom of the left and right hand. But let the students know when they get bored, it's develop your timing, their motion and movement, and their spatial relationship with the partner. And in terms of, when we get to the upper levels, we start working with live players. You see how important it is to develop those very qualities. Okay, so again, as the strike comes, we have to get out of the way first. 1. From here, automatically, we're getting out of the way on 3, shifting on 3, hitting on 4, and then locking on 5. Okay? Real simple motion movement. Okay? We'll face imaginary point, we'll all do it together. The strike comes overhead, and you want to have your students, remember, we're at the first level, so you have your students strike each other, but they don't kill each other. Preferably, over maybe see different targets, you work with different levels. When I'm working with the first level, I have them strike the right shoulder. Okay, that way they can have plenty of time to get out of the way. After a while, you go center overhead, and then all the way to the other shoulder, and they can really move. But for right now, the strike is coming to the shoulder, first level. From here, I'm checking as I move, as I step into the female chart. I hit my number 2 shot here, and as I shift into my number 3 check with my dagger, I shift my body. Now don't bring this back far here, I'm just right here. Just right here. And then I'm locking. Okay? That's the number one outside, move, motion to move. If you want to cut the cameras, we'll work on that, we'll get the bugs out, okay? You guys want, as Scott was joking, he was saying, the risk of being redundant, let me reiterate? Yeah, okay. Male and female, why are we moving those? When the strike is coming at me here, and if I step out, you'll see I'm in a female triangle. Now, the person is right here in this position, standing up here. When I realign to them, now I'm in a male triangle. That helps my alignment to punching, helps my alignment to thrusting, and cutting. Again, when I'm here, step out, opponent's here, I'm in the female. Get out of the way. As I realign, I'm in the male. Okay, that's a real simple concept. That isn't written in stone. That can change according to the circumstance. I might be in a female try and countering. Okay, so that's for the basics when the person's developing the first basic functional movements. Again, when we apply this, we're going to go each one of these empty-handed too. Put the stick down. When the punch comes, what you first thing you want to do is move, correct? I'll move out in the female try, and for this level, what we're doing is striking the weapon hand, getting the person's motion and movement, mobility, their sensitivity, their kinesthetic awareness, all that other stuff. Try to develop that initially in the first level. So when the punch comes, we check and move here. And we're trying to emphasize doing so. It's just catch the weapon hand initially, because this will go into their concepts for knife fighting. Okay, you want to stay out of the way, you come out here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, if I have 2 knives in my hand, it makes sense. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I still have the ability to get the heck out of dodge. Okay? Actually, with my first motion of movement, I have the ability to get out of dodge. Okay? First motion with my hand and my feet. Okay? 3, 4. From right here with the empty hand, you teach the pressing motion here, either here or here, it doesn't matter. What we're doing is getting the new students ready for either entering mid-range or either entering all the way for a body attack and so forth. Okay? Actually, from this outside level, we still have a chance to strike the body. When we go to level 1-5, we'll be here, still staying out of range. But right now, the outside number 1 is I'm here, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Seems kind of basic and cumbersome, but again, what you're thinking is in terms of your brand new students. Believe me, for them that will not be easy or cumbersome. It'll be difficult. Okay? So you guys are old hats. So you get a brand new person, try to teach a 10-year-old that doesn't have any martial arts experience, and it'll be work for them.
I've used that this morning, so at 10 minutes right there.
Yeah, see, Mike still has problems. No, that's a joke. Mike's good. There's a new brown or so.
It's a lot easier to teach a 10-year-old who's never had any martial arts experience than it is a black belt that's still engraved into a heart.
Right. Okay, so we'll cut, and then we'll practice this for a little bit. And then if we start taking up too much time, we're going to end up, if that's okay with you guys, we'll cut the practice periods out little by little, and then we'll just stick with the harder parts. We'll do it. Okay, next motion. Ready? We'll go again. Okay. Next motion and movement will be sweep block. All sweep block is from here. When the strike comes, your first instinct again is to get out of the way. As you get out of the way, you use your stick to parry, check, and hit. Real simple motion and movement. Right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Taking it by the numbers. This is 1 simultaneous as I step. 2, 3, and 4. Notice how the check came on 2 this time, or the shifting came on 2. Okay? Face imaginary this way. This way. You guys can all do with me. As I step out of the way, see more to get step out of the way. See here? Okay? That's 1, 2, 3, and lock. That's sweep block. So the punch that comes right here, I'm going to get out of the way here, see? Right here. Again, try to stay with the brand new students with the first level from here this way. Teaches them distancing. As we get into higher, the next level, we'll start coming up to here, and then the next level will be all the way into here as we step. Okay, so again, sweep block is just getting this out of the way, either with the fist or with open hand. Here to the elbow, okay, or to the forearm. As we check, hit, here, move, fist strike, or fist strike here, and then press with the lock. Again, When they get to the other levels, they'll see that this pressing motion, as the secondary comes, this is here. And they can still do the same motion and movements here. Okay? So it's just a real simple preparatory. Okay, that's sweep block. Okay? Next motion, next technique. Okay, is log 'em on a 5. Log 'em on a 5 right here. As the strike comes, all we're doing is doing the same thing, stepping out, thrusting here. Same time. Getting out of the way, thrusting. Cutting up, check, hit, and lock. Okay? This is this way. You do it with me. Checking and stepping. See how I stepped out of the female try? And thrusted. I cut up, turn the blade, and cut this way. You're cutting up with the blade. Okay? As I shift, 3, check, 4, and lock. Real simple motion move. Move the punch. What we're doing from here, punching here. And this again can translate to punching here. So for Brighton students, we're punching here. Okay? Sweeping it all the way 2, 3, 4, and we'll press. This will be the lock. Instead of the lock, it's the press. And again, this press motion, we're not really touching them right now. This is preparatory. For the secondary, or when we start moving in, the press will make sense. Right now, when you have new students say, well, why are you doing this? Just do it. Sure. It really makes sense. Okay, log 'em on 11. What we're doing here is, again, stepping out of the way and hitting up here. This first hit catches this momentum coming down. Catches the momentum coming down. Okay. There we go. Coming up here. Sometimes the left hand can be all the way out if you want. Okay, or it can be checked in here, it doesn't matter. Your option. Okay? After you get the initial hit, come up and cut again, just like we did with log 'em on a 5. Cutting out with the blade. Check, hit, and lock. Facing insertion. See now, from right here, as it comes up, I come and hit. See, now I got lower. I use a different mindset. I got lower now and hit up. From right here, cut, step, check, get down, and lock. And how does that translate into empty hand? If I'm here, I'm hitting the elbow here. See this? 1. See this? On my first motion movement. Hit the funny bone, hit the brachial, whatever. Okay? 2, 3, 4, and lock. Okay? Your first level students are going to see a lot of things that for them are redundant. That's okay to keep reiterating. A redundancy. That's okay, that's for them. When they start putting, see, they're learning alphabets. And when you start putting words together, see, spot runs, and then you start getting the big sentences, and you start talking about physics and esoteric things, and quantum physics and so forth, then it all makes sense. So let them go ahead and get a little frustrated with this, but you keep doing what you're doing. We're doing it, we're pyramiding up, and they won't realize it till they start teaching themselves how important it is to develop that base. Okay. We need to shoulder block. Shoulder block. Number 1. Shoulder block is done usually for, you can do it for a number 1 angle, okay, but it's more suited for number 2. But for a number 1 angle, when you're working with students, all you're doing is catching here and letting it brush off. It seems kind of weak, but what's happening is he doesn't know which way the guy's going to come. So he's playing here, catches here. Once from right here, 2, 3, 4. Again, it's more suited for number 2 strike, but the idea is the same. All we're doing from right here, as the strike comes overhead, we're catching here and checking as we step. 1, 2, 3, 4. Notice how I didn't retract on 2, I just kept my hand there. That's fine. Okay, we face an imaginary opponent in the same way. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, and lock. Okay? Empty hand, again, in the empty hand version, as the punch comes, all I'm doing is this. It'll make more sense when you start doing some of the silat and the kumta mindset. But right now, we just do this motion here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and lock. Again, it could be for a back fist or for a straight punch. 1, 2, 3, 4. Later on, when they start doing some of the Sirach, this will make more sense as they come in and press here. Come on down. Go here. Okay? But again, for your brand new students, they're just learning the mechanics. Okay, we'll face the imaginary opponent. We'll do that. Punch comes, we go 1, 2, 3, and lock. Okay. Now from right here, we'll go into Lago Mono Standard. As the strike comes overhead, all we're doing in Lago Mono Standard is catching and hitting up here. From right here, hit up, twirl, 3, check 4, and lock 5. So moving again. Strike comes, come in, move out of the way, catch here with the sword and dagger. We're coming right down, catching, trapping. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so over here. Strike comes, we're moving out of the way, catching together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Lock here. The way that translates into empty hands, remember you're doing this, these are just basics for new students, okay? What they're doing is moving out of the way, maybe grabbing and hitting underneath elbow. Okay? Real shock and controlling here. Okay? Then you can show them, if they have time to do this, okay, the second movement comes, you finish off. It's their motion finishing off, all you're doing. As the strike comes, you're coming here. Normally we come in 2, 3, 4, okay? Or you can show them, this is 1, 2, 3, 4. See how the options really are? You've got the same motion and movement, but you have the secondary dealt with and you have the primary. Okay? What else we got? Okay. Inside number 1. Inside number 1, again, what happens? Female try to male. When you work your first initial movement, you're catching here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and lock. Okay, again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and lock. Okay, take imaginary opponent. You with me? Okay, now we're doing female try catching here. 2. See, this is going up to this from here. 3, underneath. 4, 5, and lock. Okay, one more time. I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and lock. The way that translates to empty hands, from here. 1, 2, 3, or 3. Okay, 4, 5, 6, and lock. Again. Again, that just trains your students to move their hands and use the knife hand to cut the weapon hand. Again, with these motion and movements, at any time, they move, you finish off here. Same motion and movement, same hand motion and movements. Okay? So you can work with these students any way you wish on that level. If you take the same weapon hand motion and movements and study, you'll find out that when you get to the next level, this is no different than the center walling, no different than the outside 4-count drill, no different than redondo. It's all the same. So this teaches one type of structure. When you want to free-form with 4-count, it's another form, but you're doing the same thing. Okay? Now we'll go back up to the 4th disarm. When we do the... Yeah, one second. Let's say for the number 2 disarm. When you come over here, if I come in 1, 2, 3, 4, I can go into number 2 disarm. Alright? Again, I go outside number 1. 1, 2, 3. I can stop at 3 with the key. Yeah, continue my motion. I don't have to go through the whole thing. If I go through the whole thing, it's like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, press, and then go to the disarm. You see? Okay, again. 1, 2, 3, 4, press, disarm. Or I can interrupt at any point. 1, 2, 3, and go on 3. See how you guys have to play this? Inside number 1. 1, 2, 3. Disarm number 1. Okay? Here. 1, 2, 3. Disarm number 1. If I go through the whole thing, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Then go through disarm number 1. Or I can interrupt at any time. Number 1. Or I can grab here at the end after my shots and go into my technique. Okay, it's number 1, that's 1 disarm, 2 disarm, number 3. Same thing. 1, 2, 3. One number 3, this one. One of my rompidas, abanicos, figure 8s. Okay, so you have the empty hand version and with the stick knife. Number 4. With number 4 or number 2, it doesn't matter. I can go into dogma model 5, I can go into dogma model 11. I went to number 11, so it'll be here. Okay, 2, 3, 4, and then go through number 4 disarm. Number 4 disarm, since I don't have a stick, and I do it empty-handed, then I can do it here with a thumb and the wrist, just turn here. You ever see that? Or I can use it, just grab the wrist. And it's number 4. I can execute number 4 here, and I have the weapon. Okay? Okay? Or I can grab here and have the weapon. Okay? So, your format can be shoulder block, 1, 2, 3, okay? 4 here, and then go through it. It won't go through the whole motion, or you can interrupt it at any time. 1, 2, 3, 4, as your motion comes. Execute this on. Okay? That's 1, 2, 3, 4 disarms, right? Okay, so, anybody have any questions on those? You see how I went through them real quick? You have your basic motion and movement. You take it empty-handed, and you have the option of doing it. You have the option of doing it the entire motion when you work with the first two. You might want to do that. Work through the whole thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then lock it. Have them look into this on. When they get comfortable and they start developing their motions, their abilities, have them there run through the third motion. 1, 2, 3, and then you go to number 2 this time. Or 1, 2, 3, 4, go to number 4 this time. You guys, is that clear? Am I kind of clear on that? You guys have any questions on that? Okay. Again, we translate all the beginning motion and movements to the outside range so they develop their abilities to move their hands. Next level, we're going to come in close, maybe hitting the body and coming in tighter. Okay? Any other questions on this before we move on? We're going to move on. I'm clear on all this? All right. When we take a 5-minute break and we come back, we'll go to the next level.